Death Spiral, the only anime podcast that is slowly building up a criminal psychological profile of its own audiences. Soon we will know what makes you tick and what makes you kill.
We obviously plan to use this information for nefarious, world-conquering purposes, if that wasn't clear.
Well, my initial diagnosis is it's the anime. It's the anime that makes you kill.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I
thought we knew that already. I thought that
it's my initial findings. It's, I don't have enough information to publish yet, but I'm going, that's my hunch.
Listen,
I'm going with that angle.
The public is going to need much convincing. If you go into the search history, into the social media history of every single mass murderer in history, guess what you're going to find? It's all anime.
Recent history.
No, all history.
All history?
Genghis Khan, he killed thousands of dudes. You look through his personal library, it's all shoujo shit.
Oh, so you're planting evidence like with Bin Laden when everybody's like, he played Final Fantasy VII in the spider hole.
Okay, well, first of all, he did play Final Fantasy VII in the spider hole.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Tifa was his Oshi, obviously.
Yeah. That's what he was doing down there for sure. Definitely. That's a good tagline for an anime, but I can't think of what anime it would be. The anime that makes you kill.
Well, obviously it would be Everything You Need Is Kill, right?
Everything You Need Is Kill?
Yeah. That the famous Tom Cruise action sci-fi epic film Live, Die, Repeat. I can't remember what the actual
Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah, Edge of Tomorrow. Yeah.
Edge of Tomorrow
is based off of. And actually, speaking of, did you hear that that's getting a new anime film adaptation based off of the original light novel?
How unfortunate, because that really is the only anime property that is better in the American remake. Literally the only one. Because I've read that manga, and it's garbage.
Really?
It's fucking garbage. Yeah, it's fucking trash. It's not good at all. The Tom Cruise movie is so insanely better, it's mind-boggling. I've never come across its like before, and maybe never will again.
I'm not disputing you, but I highly encourage you to go watch the trailer for this new anime film adaptation of All You Need Is Kill, because it actually looks really good, though. It's not adapting the manga style. It's doing its own weird thing. It's very distinctive looking and visually impressive just from what I've seen. Just go check it out and make up your mind then. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right. But if it sticks too close to the actual plot from the original, then it's going to be trash because the original plot is so bad. The changes they made for the Tom Cruise, I'm dead fucking serious. The changes they made for the Tom Cruise version saves that story.
So, from my understanding, they did change the POV, of the narrative for this new version to the main female character instead of the Tom Cruise character.
That's a huge departure.
Yeah. So it's not exactly sticking very close to the source material from what I'm seeing talk about it. And again, it looks really, really pretty. You should watch it. Watch the trailer.
All right. It's just, it's just one of those bizarre cases. I really can't think of a single example where that has ever been true. And I've watched a fair, we talked about a few of them, but I've watched a fair amount of these live action adaptations. I've seen some. I've been around the block.
We've seen a couple. We've seen a couple here and there. Hey, I've seen The Guyver.
Hey, I've seen Debuduman. And again, I say it every time, but apparently I'm the only person on Earth who thinks that movie is good. I like that movie.
I've seen the Full Metal Alchemist movie.
Oh, well, no, I've seen two of those, and they are not good. Those are
They're very bad.
They're very bad. But, the Debuduman, its claim to fame is that it is officially the worst cumulatively rated movie in Japan.
Cumulative.
I don't know how they put that stuff together in Japan, if they have some kind of like official populist Metacritic kind of system there, but
they have a big billboard in like the center of Shibuya Scramble Crossroad, and it just lists all of the top like earning things in pop culture in Japan, and it's what everyone looks at to see like, oh, that's what we need to be liking right now. It's like it's the cultural approval list.
Sure. Doraemon.
That's always at the top. You know, that's always going to be number one.
Detective Conan.
You know, you flip around between like Detective Conan and Fist of the North Star. Sometimes you get a real dark horse candidate in there. You know, Demon Slayer. Yeah, Demon Slayer made it almost
really
all
dark
the way
horse.
to the top. But no, they're not Doraemon. Come on.
No one is Doraemon.
No one is Doraemon.
Oh, except for Mr. Peabody, who is Doraemon is just ripping off Mr. Peabody. And I will never stop saying this because it is true. Doraemon is just a ripoff of Mr. Peabody.
Do we have confirmation on that? Do we know which came out first?
I gotta say Mr. Peabody.
Do you want to put that to the test?
I mean,
I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up.
Go ahead. Look it up. I'm pretty sure Mr. Peabody was first. I watched a lot of that.
So
I remember talking to a friend of mine, and they did not know what that was, and so I showed them the episode about I think the Battle of Wounded Knee. I think that was the episode we ended up watching, and it is a very, very offensive. Like really offensive.
Okay, all right. You know what? You were right. Mr. Peabody had 10 whole years on Doraemon.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man.
Mr. Peabody premiered in the Rocky and Bullwinkle show in 1959.
Yep.
Doraemon premiered in 1969.
See? Somebody in Japan watched Mr. Peabody and was like, oh, I'm going to do that, but cat.
Time traveling scientist animal. It's so easy. The formula is so stupid simple, but it's like printing money.
Doraemon is obviously a better mascot character because Mr. Peabody is just a dog with a bow tie and glasses.
Oh, I was going to say because Doraemon doesn't have ears and, you know, people find ears unpleasant to look at.
Well, they have Doraemon is one of those cats where they've like slowly genetically mutilated them until until they like
He's one
have
of those
some
Scottish
specific
fold
desired
cats.
features. Yeah, exactly. They just annihilated their genetics, and that's where his intelligence comes from because he is a mutant. I haven't watched Doraemon in a while, but I'm pretty sure that's the backstory. Mr. Peabody's much cleaner.
Doraemon doesn't talk?
Yeah, of course Doraemon talks. What do you?
Oh,
What?
I thought you just said he was a mute.
No, he's a mutant.
Oh, a mutant.
He's a horrible mutant with time travel powers.
Well,
who's
you
been
know, it could
unleashed
be
in
like
the
his
world.
mutation is that he doesn't have vocal cords, thus making him a mute. I don't know.
How would he condescend to the stupid nerds that he makes go on these adventures with him?
To be fair, Nobita does suck though. Like he's a horrible little kid, just the worst.
I feel like he's just an average, like dork ass Japanese.
He's a dork ass
like
little dweeb,
anime child.
You know,
He's a little dork ass dweeb.
Yeah.
But the guy in Mr. Peabody, the little kid that follows around Mr. Peabody, is
Sherman.
also a complete fucking dork ass dweeb. Yes, Sherman.
yeah,
He's a little dork ass dweeb, and he's fucking stupid. He's not even like a smart nerd. He's completely fucking ignorant of everything. And Mr. Peabody has constantly fucking condescending to him, justifiably because he is incredibly stupid.
Well, you know, he's just a kid, you know, and he's just kind of like happy to skip class, you know, get travel around time. Seems like a fun thing to do.
Yeah, but that is class. Mr. Peabody's like teaching him about history. That's just more class.
No, Peabody's pontificating at him. He's not really trying to imbue knowledge. He's trying to belittle him with a display of his own, you know, greater intelligence.
Well, he is omnipotent, which is pretty incredible.
I mean,
for a talking dog.
Mr. Peabody, if we're going all the way back, Mr. Peabody is just like ripping off Doctor Who.
How dare you?
He's a cheap Doctor Who knockoff.
How dare you? I can't listen to this. Who is the anime Rocky and Bullwinkle? That's the question.
Oh, that's a good question.
What show is ripping off Rocky and Bullwinkle? Rocky's a flying squirrel.
Yeah.
Bullwinkle is a giant moose that stands on his hind legs.
So, they are the classic big guy, big dumb guy, small quippy guy.
Yeah, they're big guy, little guy.
Big guy, little guy,
For sure.
which is very close to, the style of Japanese humor that appears in a lot of these like early anime shows. So there's got to be an equivalent, right? I think Lupin. I think Lupin is Japanese Rocky and Bullwinkle.
But Lupin isn't big guy, little guy. Like, Jigen and Lupin are pretty much the same height.
Yeah, but it's about the spirit of the characters, Jigen is the heavy and Lupin is the quickster.
No, I think it's a different read because Rocky is incredibly sincere and heroic, and Bullwinkle is kind of like a dopey, good-natured moron, whereas like Lupin is obviously a bad person. Like he's not a good guy. And Jigen is like kind of a gruff, reserved, grouch. They're very different types. And you can't go by Castle of Cagliostro too, because those characterizations are very different from core Lupin.
Well, okay, I think that we're overthinking this because I think that Rocky and Bullwinkle are the Japanese Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Oh yeah,
because they were animated in Japan, really cheaply.
Because like anything animated in Japan is anime.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
Well, actually, anime is just their word for cartoon.
It's not their word for cartoon. It's the French word for cartoon. It's not even theirs. It's all based on a lie. This whole thing is based on a lie. This House of Cards. Oh, Jesus
okay,
Christ.
all right. Let's steer it back to the topic of world domination.
Oh, now
quick.
he wants to talk about anime.
Yeah,
great.
Specifically, I want to get this one out of the way real quick because there isn't really much there. I did watch Ganglion. As part of my run through of the fall season premieres.
Oh, yes, the Neuron.
2025, fall anime 2025.
The base of the brain.
Yeah, yes. Well, it's a essential part of the nervous system.
Yes.
No, this is the anime about, how much it sucks to be like a working stiff, but if you were a henchman for an evil Sentai organization, the villains of a Sentai show, right?
Yeah.
I did not realize going into it that these are essentially like in between commercial shorts. The episodes are 3 minutes long.
What?
Yeah. It's not really like so much an exploration of the whole thing as it's more just like snapshots of the main henchman kind of like going about his day after work, just kind of being generally depressed. So, the very first episode is just like they're in the middle of a fight with the hero who is called Hope Man.
Hope
Man in this world. They're not trying very hard.
It's crazy that Cape Comics are now actually also ruining anime.
Oh man, it goes so much deeper than that.
It's crazy. We talked about there being like a decade-long lag, but like now they are at the Iron Man stage where this is taking over also their culture.
Everything. Well, no, I don't think that this is so much a reference to like Cape stuff. I think that this is, they're doing the Sentai kind of show thing.
Yeah, but also Venture Brothers.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the thing is that every joke Ganglion can make has been made by the Venture Brothers 20 years ago and was like a lot funnier. And so, the first episode is like about him having to leave work early because he has to go pick up his kid because he's divorced. And he's like, hey, sorry, everybody, I got to leave the fight early. This is like my weekend with my son. I got to go pick him up in the train station. And
that's allowed?
Oh, yeah, that's allowed. Well, they have a union.
They let him do it?
They have a union.
Oh, they're unionized.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is already better than the Venture Brothers.
No, the Venture Brothers were also union.
The bad guys were unionized?
Yeah, the Guild of Calamitous Intent. That was the bad guy union.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, it's a major component of the show. In like literally every episode they reference the Guild. But that's not anime. Anyway, and then like the second episode is him like getting home late after work because he had to stay and fill out a damages report so he could get reimbursed like for his hospital bill.
Okay, sure.
And he stops at an Oden stand and like has some chit chat with the stall owner, who's like, "Hey, you look like you have an exciting job." And he's like, "No, not really. It actually kind of sucks. Like, I joined up after I got out of high school because I thought it would be glamorous, and then like one thing led to another, and suddenly it's 15 years later, and I'm the oldest person in my department." And I'm divorced and I don't get paid enough to like eat meat during the week. So anyway, this sucks. And then episode end. That's it. No joke. No punchline.
There's no joke.
No joke.
The joke
it's
is that
just
he's a
him
loser.
being depressed. The joke is that he is a sad, like, he is a sad salary man, just that his job is being a henchman.
He's Pagliacci.
Funny joke. Everybody laugh.
It's wild. Crazy.
Yeah, it is a Pagliacci situation for sure. I don't think he's quite to the point of him, murdering his adulterous wife, but I don't know. We'll see there. Hopefully the fact they're already divorced means that that's not really something that we have to worry about.
It's not something he's dwelling on.
Yeah. No, he seems kind of relegated to his lot in life, which maybe is the cruelest implication of the whole thing. Anyway, I mostly just wanted to point out I was surprised that the episodes are very, very, very short.
That is truly bizarre. What a strange thing.
Yeah. So that aside, I did watch an actual anime though. As is my predilection, I gotta get in there on these shitty rom-coms, see what's going on this season. And this is one that you had talked about before. I did watch the first episode of Yano-kun's Ordinary Days.
Sure. And I said, yes, I had a lot of affection for the kickoff of this series because it has a fun premise.
It does have a fun premise. So we talked about it a little bit on the last episode or the one before that, but essentially this kid, Yano, he's a Mr. Magoo type. He's always falling down.
Yep.
He's running into walls, getting into like minor car accidents, getting scraped, getting bumped,
and
getting bruised.
He doesn't know where his glasses are.
Yeah. Well, he always has an eye patch on, at least for the beginning of the series. He's short-sighted in his lazy eye.
Yeah. Might be the only Japanese high school kid who wears the eye patch not for
like to look tough,
for tune-in reasons.
No, he has legitimate medical reasons for all of these things.
He's hurt. He's like legitimately hurt.
He's really hurting really badly.
Yeah.
And we have the class president who at first is like kind of gets obsessed with him because she's like, who is this kid? Who is this kid that's always coming into class like absolutely savage? Like he looks like he's about to fall apart. And
she thinks he's being bullied.
Yeah, she's like, is he being bullied? Is he being domestic violenced?
Yeah, is he getting DV'd?
Yeah, DV'd. Is something, what's going on here? Does he owe money to the mob? And so her and her friends follow him around after school one day, and it turns out that he's just a Magoo. He's Magooing it up all over the place.
Yeah, he Magoos all the way home.
Yeah. And now, I do like the setup for this premise. I have some issues with the way it's executed, at least in the episode. I don't know if they maybe do it better in the manga because I haven't read it yet. The first issue I have is that, like, they really needed to put more effort into the animations of him like getting hurt, because that is such an opportunity to take advantage of the visual nature of animation and do something funny and like interesting to look at. And instead they are really, really pulling all of the classic moves for budget saving here, where all of his accidents are just still frames that the camera kind of like pans over in illusion of motion, one would say.
That's brutal.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Man. That sucks.
Yeah, a total slideshow in, I would say, a good 15% of the episode.
Oh, that's not good.
You know, it's mostly hidden, but there are some key frames where it really shows that they are doing the 3D rigging, 2D over 3D kind of like quick style of animation. So already it's not like the most impressive thing to look at. Voice wise, background music wise, it's fine. I think the voice cast does all right, but then again, I'm not exactly a good judge of what counts as a good, Japanese voice performance. I was like, oh yeah.
How would you know?
Oh yeah, no, they're speaking Japanese. No, I get it. Yeah.
It sounds like Japanese. They're emoting.
Yep.
I could tell that part.
Yeah.
I love when we get announcements about anime that is like, famous Japanese voice actor is in this. They cast famous Japanese voice actor. I'm like,
the fuck would I be able to tell?
Hey, as long as they like emote, I that's fine with me, man.
So yeah, that's the main thing, is that the animation is really not there, not doing it for me, which is a shame. The second thing is, I'm not sure if I missed something, because I did have to like back up the episode and rewatch like the middle of it to figure out why this chick has a crush on this guy to begin with. Like, it seems like it comes on so out of nowhere, where it's like, all right, she's stalking him after school to figure out why he's getting hurt so much. And then the next day in class, she's like, wow, I can't stop thinking about how much of a klutz this guy is. It's like really bewildering. It's like unnatural how much he tends to hurt himself. It's really crazy. And then her friend is like, wow, you think about him a lot. You must have a crush on him. And she's like, yeah, I guess I do have a crush on him.
I mean, it's hard to argue at that point. She's like obsessing over this boy that's in her class all the time.
Okay, yeah, that was my first like thought too. I'm like, all right, she is thinking about this guy a lot. Obviously, she has some kind of like draw to him. But the more I put myself in her shoes, I would be just as curious. Because if you saw the things that she saw this guy do on a simple walk from,
if you've seen what I've seen,
it's inexplicable how this kid keeps managing to get into these situations. It's like he needs to be institutionalized if this is something that he cannot control.
It's an extraordinary quirk of nature that this is happening so frequently to one person.
Yeah.
And as I said when we talked about it, the implication later on is that this is somehow genetic. This is a genetic disposition, because he inherited this from his father. That's really
insane.
Yes.
I'm just saying that I understand. I would be just as curious as her. I would be thinking about it until I had an answer.
I think you'd want to avoid him just because you don't know if this is communicable or not.
I don't want to get caught in the crossfire, even if it's like only affects him. It's still stuff happening around him. Like, there's a danger area with him at the center.
Yeah, of course. He's the walking typhoon.
And so she just kind of decides that she has a crush on this guy because she's so curious about him getting hurt all the time. I don't get it, but whatever, teenagers, the heart wants what it wants. And like, she resolves to like get closer to him socially and personally. And she basically comes out and confesses to him at the end of the first episode and be like, hey.
At the end of the first episode?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, that's pretty compressed because that's not like that happens at the end of the first chapter. I mean, it takes you a few to get to the point where there's even like a recognition.
I don't know how many chapters they're kind of putting into these episodes. That's why I was saying I don't know how it's paced in the manga because it felt like something was missing for me. Like it was going really fast.
I mean, it's not a huge amount of chapters, but it's not that compressed.
At the end of the first episode is when they have the conversation on the stairwell, and she's like, hey, I want to like be really close to you, and I want also to like tend all of your wounds because I carry around a first aid kit with me all the time.
Yeah, that is definitely not in chapter 2. That happens like later on.
So we're moving pretty fast, it seems.
Yeah, that is very fast. Now, I do have two things to say. One being about the walking typhoon aspect that you mentioned, which is, and connecting back to the animation part, because my dream version of the anime adaptation of the manga, because this is something I couldn't stop thinking about when I was reading the manga, which I do like. I think it's drawn well. I think, the gags probably work better panel to panel when he's getting hurt, but obviously that is the most important part of the show, right? Is when he gets hurt. Like that is the focal point. That is entire
the joke.
Gag.
That's the gag that they're going for.
The whole thing. So if I am the anime director, right, and I've been assigned this show or whatever, maybe I pitched it. I don't know. I'm zeroing in on that so hard, and I'm thinking, how do I make that part my own? And my first thought is, okay, so essentially this is a comedy, an even more comedy version of Final Destination. So this kid has a Final Destination movie happen to him every episode, right? Except the joke being a Final Destination is happening to him, but the end result is not that he dies horribly. It's that, like, he sprains his ankle.
He gets bumped on the head.
He He gets sand in his eyes or whatever, and then you can, on either side of it, it's like, whatever, do your slideshow. I mean, most of that stuff is just characters having conversations in class, but the actual getting hurt part becomes like the core of each episode, and it is like an action sequence, right? You have a lot of animation happening in the core of it. It becomes, briefly becomes like an action show where all these things are happening to build up to this character getting hurt. That is my dream version of the show. That is what I would do if I took over this.
And I think that's a pretty obvious choice, like a pretty obvious direction to go with,
Yes, I think that's an easy slam dunk right there, and I'm surprised they didn't try to do anything like that. The only reservation I can imagine they'd have is that it's too different from the manga, because then you'd have to like actually put some effort into like coming up with the gag yourself.
Yeah. Well,
which they probably didn't want to do.
We've talked about how hard it is to actually like get something put through production that is like unique and has its own voice,
Yeah.
They want you to adapt the manga.
Even the most cynical version I can think of, though, being like, okay, I'm like a gig. I'm a gig director. Mm-hmm. This is another stepping stone in my career because I know this show is only going to get one season. The next thing is going to be my next thing, and I want to work my way up. I understand being like, okay, we have zero budget, and I need to make sure like I don't work anybody to death like they're doing over at Mappa. So I'll just do no animation. But at the same time, if I'm that guy, I'm going like, okay, I have every episode is an opportunity to show that I'm good at my job. Even from the most cynical angle, you'd think like, okay, I'm going to flex a little bit to show the guys upstairs that I can do the fucking job. But they don't. They don't do that.
No, they don't. No,
Strange
their
to
version of doing a good job is their product to put out. And did you come in early? Like, did you finish early?
Are you on time? Did you get under budget? Is it not a flaming like garbage pile?
Because the last director who did what you're talking about is the Chainsaw Man season 1 director, and they fired his ass.
Sure. But I mean, like I've talked about Hikaru a million times, and Hikaru takes big swings in their adaptation, right? Mm-hmm. They've made some choices, like some interesting.
I mean,
big
we're
choices.
not really going to see how that plays out. Like critically, it's doing great. Everyone really enjoyed it. We're not going to see how that plays out until they release the domestic Blu-ray sales numbers, though, because that's
Sure.
really the driving force here.
Sure, in the most cynical aspect of it, yes.
Which is what we're doing. Yes, I'm being cynical here. That's the point.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so the second part is, unfortunately, this is just like the manga, exactly, which is that kind of the implication, the reason you are confused there about her suddenly being in love with this guy. It's not necessarily just because it's so condensed, because in the manga, it does give you her time to like work through her feelings a little bit more. But the kind of the main thrust, whether they're conscious of it or not, is that she is Florence Nightingale-ing like super fucking hard here, right? Like she is maternal instincting like all over this dude, and if you want to read it from a slightly more critical perspective, the read really is that she is confusing concern, like matriarchal concern for this guy's well-being with like affection, like romantic feelings, and like that is kind of not good.
Well, that makes me uncomfortable when you put it that way.
It's not good. It's sort of the what they're saying essentially is like the hurt puppy effect. Women will just like fall in love with a guy because like he looks pathetic and sad, and she wants to fix him, right?
Yeah.
Which is a long-standing trope, not just of anime and manga, but like everything, everywhere.
That's actually something that flashed in my mind when I was watching. It's like, this is I can fix him the anime.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And that is apparently where the romance comes from. And that's not great.
No, it's not great. And it sounds like the manga, at least the premise, like you said at the beginning, is a good setup. But man, this first episode was rough to watch. I was not impressed. It was really disappointing.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Another one in the bag.
What do you got? Surely you have something better than that.
I suppose it depends on your perspective. I mean, I watched, and hopefully we tried to prepare you for this a little bit, but I did watch the premiere of One Punch Man Season 3.
Whew, oh boy.
And it's not terrible. It is exactly what we said it would be. Exactly.
Yep.
It is
Look at that
continuation
what a
of
surprise.
Season 2. It's not terribly animated. It is also not impressively animated. For the most part, this is just somebody holding the wheel steady, right?
Yeah.
This is a franchise entry now.
Let's just keep steering the ship on course.
Keep the thing on the tracks, and that's the extent of its ambition.
And you know what? Like we said in the other episode, that's fine. I think that's just fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
We are in an arc where the jokes aren't quite as like forthcoming. We're not getting the hits in because this is the arc that's mostly about Garu and his quest to become the ultimate human fighter. This is going to become like a long series of 1v1s, Dragon Ball style, where the jokes of the show and the premise of the entire show kind of take a backseat to doing the Dragon Ball thing.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that is basically where I stalled out in reading the manga. I think
is the Garu part 2.
Yeah, is the Garu part 2, because like you said, that is mostly just a long string of one-on-one fights, which I think is the least like interesting aspect of the show, because that's when it starts taking itself seriously as an entry in a genre that it started off, lampooning. And I think that the jokes, specifically like the character, the superhero gimmick jokes become way less endearing the more seriously the series takes itself.
I think it's still not taking itself deadly seriously.
Well,
like these
no.
fights are mostly joke fights. And the Garu Saitama pairing is still, it is a joke. It can't be anything else. And we do have fights like the little black sperm guy, which is, it's still funny. Honestly, it's still funny. And thinking about it right now makes me laugh. It is funny. It's not like we veered into a completely different kind of show, but it is an arc where we are not going to be getting a lot of Saitama in general, which I feel like kind of is the thing people want. And the more you deny them that, the less interested people are going to be in One Punch Man.
I mean, it is the mark of a series that's trying to spread out its premise as thin as possible, is when you know exactly what the audience wants to see, and then you try and drip feed them that at an artificially reduced pace as to, retain readership, viewership from episode to episode. It's the same reason that Dragon Ball kept killing off Goku every other season and had to wait for him to get resurrected either with the Dragon Balls or winning a fighting tournament or going to an alien god or whatever. But the entire so many arcs of Dragon Ball Z were, hey, we got to wait for Goku to come back from the dead so that we can actually win this fight.
Yeah. Well, I like Goku. So
yeah, we all like Goku. Goku's the
Goku
one we
the
want
most.
to see.
I want to see Goku.
We don't care about Gohan. We want to see
don't.
Goku, but we have to
care
spend
about
15
Gohan.
episodes of watching Goku travel the dragon trail in the spirit realm to get to Master Kai's house so that he can learn the spirit bomb.
Yeah.
And none of that is exciting.
It's not. I feel for people who I guess are Trunks people or whatever. I feel for you. But I don't give a shit about Trunks, dog.
No,
the
nobody
fusion dance
does.
is cute, but I don't fucking care, frankly, Piccolo maybe is my only other dude. Piccolo's pretty cool.
Piccolo is hands down the coolest dude in the Dragon Ball universe.
Piccolo is pretty fucking cool.
I don't mean that he's the coolest, most badass, but he just seems out of all the people in Dragon Ball, I would be down to chill with him the most. He's got he seems like he has his shit together.
If we have to have an entire episode of Dragon Ball that's about one other character besides Goku, I am
Piccolo.
least upset if it's Piccolo.
Yeah.
Vegeta is okay, fine, whatever. I get it. Vegeta is basically, co-pilot at that point in the original run of Z. So it's okay, fine, whatever. But anyone else, I do not fucking care.
No, Tien. Who gives a shit about Tien?
No, don't care. Don't care about Yamcha.
No.
Don't really care about Bulma or Chi-Chi.
No.
Don't care, I don't care about any of these people.
Oh man, when they reverted Goku back to little kid Goku in the later years, and
You
then
mean Daima?
Yeah, well, no, this is before Daima. In GT.
Oh, because Daima, that's the whole premise.
You remember Dragon Ball GT?
A little bit. I don't think I watched GT.
That was the one where Goku's granddaughter was the main character.
No, definitely did not watch that. Yeah, did not watch that
well,
one.
the main premise was that the Red Ribbon Army from the original Dragon Ball run comes back, and they use a de-aging laser on Goku, and it turns him into little kid Goku again. And so he has to go on an adventure with his granddaughter and with little kid Vegeta so that they can get the Dragon Balls and wish them back into being adults again.
That's what you would waste your wish on?
Yeah.
Dog, being a kid, it's like whatever. You'll just grow back up into an adult eventually. Like, who fucking cares?
Presumably his adult wife cares.
So, look, I mean, yeah, it sucks, but like, you get a dragon wish, the most powerful thing that has ever existed in the entire universe, and you're gonna waste it on like re-aging? That is whack as hell, man.
What does Goku care? He's come back from the dead like 5 times by now.
Yeah, he doesn't even need wishes for that.
No.
Oh my god, that pisses me off so much. That sucks so bad. Oh fuck. Oh man. Okay. Well, anyway, whatever. And the point being, of course, that like, I feel like I think with One Punch Man, I think what happens here is, because I don't think this is quite as big of a problem in the One's original webcomic.
Mm-hmm.
I think what happened here is that Yusuke Murata is such a good artist, like he is really, really good, that he has begun like drifting the show like back into something that is cool just by like force of wanting to draw cool things.
Yeah, that was always something that I think was present in the DNA of the manga, the Jump manga version of One Punch Man. Is that obviously One's webcomic, his art style is like weird little thumb-headed doodle people, right?
Yeah, you know, they're cool. They're funny.
Yeah, they're funny.
They're cool. They're MS Paint comics.
And you know, the manga art is very bombastic and it's very stylized and it looks really cool. And you know,
it's great.
Eye Shield 21 looked really cool, and I don't even give a shit about football. You know?
Yeah, the only reason I would ever read that is because he's such a fucking great artist.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
give a shit about high school football in Japan. Like, not at all.
Something that totally exists, you know?
You have to twist my arm to watch, like, Friday Night Lights, and that is considered, like, one of the best, like, golden age television shows with my man Michael B. Jordan in it. Like, come on. Michael B. Fresh off the wire.
But, you know, Eye Shield 21, yeah, it fucking looks great. So, you know, it was something that I always thought about with this series. Once I knew, like, the origins, like, from the webcomic, I'm like, oh, like, at first, I think the updated, you know, Murata art style works really well as part of the joke because it goes into, you know, the deadpan nature of the gag. You know, if everything looks like a shonen manga should look, but then it's super silly and not taking itself seriously, I think that's very funny. But like you said, the longer it goes on and the more people get invested in Murata's art style as the image of One Punch Man, it starts leaning into like, well, what if we made, you know, this fight look more cool and sacrifice this joke here or there. And basically, I think the show is, like I was saying, has been drifting back into just being a shonen. And if it's just a shonen anime, then I think a lot of the jokes in it are a little less funny. Like, I don't like it in general, but if One Punch Man is just going to be a regular ass shonen anime, then Pretty Prisoner gets a bit more of a critical eye on it.
Pooty Prisoner. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that one is probably not gonna fly for me.
Oh yeah. Dark Shine.
Yeah.
The original name of The Shining.
I was specifically thinking about the gag of whether or not what's her name, Tatsumaki, the psychic girl,
the tornado.
Yeah. The recurring joke of whether or not she's actually wearing underwear that maybe isn't such a great look.
Okay, well, hold on. There is one joke, and the joke, it does confirm that she is wearing underwear. That has gotten overblown by weird perverts.
They nipped that one in the bud. They got rid of that one. Okay.
She is wearing underwear. It's just that she poses in a way where the question can't be raised. That's it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, then the posing itself maybe is also not great.
I mean, the joke
look.
where she constantly has to reassert that she is an adult is probably the more questionable one.
Yeah. That seems to happen so much in anime, Kind of weird.
Yeah, the small girl who is the older sister of the very tall, mature girl.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those were prominent characters in My Dress Up Darling.
Yes. God, Jesus Christ. It's really awful. Okay. Yeah. Hey, just to wrap it up here, do you want to guess what the name of the football team is in iShield 21?
Is it the Sabres?
Like from Fate Stay Night?
Yeah, like
No.
from Fate Stay Night.
Saber. No. The team that the main character plays on is called the Devil Bats.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it really made me laugh when I heard that. The first
I can
time.
actually see that, though. It's like,
The Devil
hey, welcome
Bats.
out to the Louisiana Devil Bats.
Yeah, well, they're, the Devil Rays.
Devil Rays.
Is a thing.
The Jersey Devils. That's a hockey team.
Yeah, it's not really a devil bat.
Sports team. It's a devil. Devils are dark.
It is a devil. We know that because of Seinfeld, obviously. Putty is a Devils fan. He kills a priest by yelling, "I'm the
Okay,
devil."
we are not talking about Seinfeld. I told you already.
It's just it's a thing that happens specifically.
No. We are moving on. All right. Anime. I watched some more anime. Specifically, I went and watched the first episode of synth noises playing in the background, Cat's Eye.
Cat's Eye, baby.
The reboot of the classic 80s crime comedy thriller, Cat's Eye.
Sure. Yes. Cat's Eye.
Cat's
Yes.
Eye.
These girls are criminals.
No, they are criminals. They are, dare I say it,
They're criminals.
cat burglars.
Cutie Honey were police officers.
Yeah, ACAB, I do not like Cutie Honey. They are cops. Therefore,
They are cops.
It's
It's unfortunate.
not great. These girls are not cops, although one of them is dating a cop. But
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that sucks.
she's only dating the cop so that she can get the inside scoop because he's the cop investigating all of their crimes. And so
She's
this is how
doing
she
deep
stays one step ahead of them, huh?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
She's doing that thing where like CIA guys like go undercover with environmental groups.
Yeah,
and
she's
then,
doing
like, start
a
dating the
COINTELPRO
members.
on the cops.
Yeah, this is. I have mixed feelings about that.
She's doing a reverse COINTELPRO. So, the premise of Cat's Eye is we have three beautiful, sexy sisters, and they are cafe owners by day and international jewel thieves by night who go by the organization name of the Cat's Eye. That's what they're called collectively.
Really you shouldn't be well known enough to have an organizational name. If you're going to be an international jewel thief, you should be maybe a little bit more.
Well, really they're inviting trouble to the whole operation because they're doing the thing, They're maybe a little bit full of themselves, got a little narcissism going on because they do leave a literal calling card behind at every crime scene.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that.
It is a business card that says you've just been robbed by the Cat's Eye.
I'm really against this. I'm really against this in general. I get the impulse, but don't do that.
Well, it's really, it depends on what your end goal is. What are your priorities here? Because sure, yeah, they're trying to steal jewels, but they're also trying to build a brand. They're trying to girl boss. They're trying to empower themselves to make money, to make connections, to make a name for themselves on the international stage. these are all things that are just as valuable as real jewels.
I'm just saying, this is exactly like every hacker that has been caught in like the last 20 years because they pulled off some insane fucking hack and then they bragged about it like on Reddit or whatever, and like they couldn't fucking help themselves. They just needed to like show off, and that's like the stupidest shit you can do if you're doing crimes. Or people who do crimes and then post it on Twitter.
Hey, if you're doing crimes, don't shoot yourself in the foot while you're ahead.
Don't post yourself online doing crimes.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Don't leave a paper trail.
It's dumb.
Even if it is a very well-designed calling card.
Yeah, even if you're doing an American Psycho.
And by the way, their logo that they've come up for their jewel thief organization, really spot on. Like, it's a sharp logo. It's kind of like this stylized cat's head that has one eye open, and very cool. Like, as far as branding goes, they are on point. 10 out of 10 here. No notes.
The branding is good. The branding is good. I have no problem with that.
And so, the setup is they will, they'll do a heist. They'll do a heist on some jewels or some art. And then the next day, the bumbling detective who is dating we'll call her the Cameron Diaz of their Charlie's Angels setup.
Sure.
She's kind of like she's the middle sister, and she's kind of like the main character. She's the brains of the outfit, and so she's the one that's dating the detective who is in charge of investigating them. And it's like kind of a will they, won't they of whether or not she actually has legitimate feelings for him or if she's just conning him. It seems they're leaving some room open. Maybe she actually does have like some kind of, romantic, real affection for this guy, because she's like always opining to herself, like, man, wouldn't it be great if he stopped being a detective? Then I could be a jewel thief and we could like actually date for real.
Yeah, sure. That'd be great.
Yeah. But he's like, no, in fact, I'm not even gonna talk about marrying you until I've caught the cat's eye, because that's my job. I'm the
exact
detective.
Opposite of every cop show where they're like, I can't come home tonight, honey. I have to catch this murderer. They're like, okay, we need a divorce.
Yeah. And his whole deal is that he is legitimately a very, very dumb man. Like,
sure.
Like, he is just like, even for like cop standards, he's the dumbest motherfucker who has ever walked the earth. Cause his problem is that he cannot put two and two together, that the three sexy jewel thieves that he pursues and narrowly catches every episode, that he has seen multiple times. He knows that they are three adult female women who steal jewels. He cannot put together the fact that the three adult women who run a cafe that he goes to every morning, by the way, the name of that cafe is Cat's Eye. He doesn't see it. Why doesn't he see it?
And they serve all their customers and they're covered in jewels.
They literally have expensive paintings hanging from the walls of the cafe.
They're wearing giant rings and necklaces that are covered in gems.
It's like, I get that it's a gag, but it's for how seriously the rest of this show takes itself. It doesn't make any sense. How can he not put two and two together?
Yeah, they need to address it.
They legitimately do not address the fact that, like Yano-kun from Yano-kun's Ordinary Days, if this guy is actually as dumb as he outwardly appears to everybody in the show, it is an act of gross negligence to not only keep him employed as a police officer where he has access to guns, but to like let him be living independently out in the world at all.
Sure.
Because
well, have you considered this? Maybe he's the smartest cop.
oh no,
Maybe he's the smartest one.
he is the dumbest motherfucker on earth, but he's still the smartest
He's
cop.
still the smartest cop they have.
I have no argument against that, because despite him being as dumb as he is, they still keep like him employed. So they must be just as dumb, if not dumber than him.
Yeah, it's no one else is catching these girls.
Literally no one is they stage a bungled heist on a jewel so that he can feel better about himself.
Man, if he ever found that out, he might die. Like,
he's
die
like, oh
from the
man,
shame."
honey, I had such a bad day at work. The chief says that he's gonna, send me to a different district if I don't stop the next, heist and catch the cat thieves.
They're gonna make me Chief B guy.
Yeah. Duh, we did bad.
Oh,
Yeah. And she's like, all right, well, man, that sucks. And then the next heist they do, they accidentally leave the jewels behind so that he can say that he thwarted them from stealing the jewels. But actually, that heist, in addition to being like, a setup to increase his confidence, was a distraction so that they could steal a different set of jewels from a different floor of the building.
man, that's brutal.
It's
That's
so
really
brutal.
brutal.
This guy sucks. He sucks so
sucks.
bad.
He sucks so fucking bad.
The girls
It's
are
true.
fine. They're fine.
You know, at least Zenigata like knows what's happening.
And so I was so taken aback by this setup. And also, to speak quickly on the animation, it was better than Yano-kun, but again, not great. I don't know what's going on if if they just put all of their best stuff out already for the year, but I am not seeing a whole lot of wow shows going on right now the way we have the last few seasons. Like, at least there is at least one usually that it's like, okay, this is the show that looks fucking awesome. But yeah, this one also not doing great in that department.
Yeah, I kind of thought at first that they were going to kind of try to mimic the original look of the 80s show,
Well, they're trying to mimic the style visually, but, and this is what I was about to get into, because I did go back and watch the first the couple episodes of the 80s show to compare to this one.
Yes.
And so, first of all, you lose so much charm in the current digital cell shading era of animation that we're in.
Yeah.
And it really kind of puts on blast a whole lot of issues that I think the original art style had. But man, first of all, the 80s show, at least the first episode, is almost beat for beat the same as the remake series. So that was kind of nice to see. They weren't going full reimagine. I don't know. Maybe they should have gone full reimagining with this. Maybe that would have been cooler. But yeah, it was basically beat for beat the same plot. The visual style of the 80s show, combined with the fact that the version that I was watching was very obviously a super low res scan of a VHS tape of the show, gives it so much charm. Just that grungy,
aesthetic. Just aesthetic.
The
Dripping aesthetic.
dripping in it. Oh yeah.
Oh, it's dripping aesthetic.
That 80s neon Tokyo skyline with the grungy visuals and neon cyberpunk kind of dirty 80s New York feel to it. Man, I love that shit. I love it so much. That is a terminal millennial take, I know. Terminally millennial.
It's just that but the kids have these bizarre pseudo nostalgia feelings for that exact kind of thing. I mean, it's aesthetic.
But that's not what they did. That's not what they did in the new series. They didn't even try and make it look like that. They have smartphones. They have smartphones in the new series. But
you can't get around the smartphone thing.
For some reason, they put everything in a modern, super sleek, kind of contemporary aesthetic. except that all of the characters still have their super 80s like hairstyles and costumes. So
That is kind of funny, though.
So you have like one guy who's like, okay, so the police officers, they have their own trio that are set up as foils. You know, we have our main guy, the Zenigata, but his two kind of like goofy sidekick characters are the American cop, who's like, you know, his thing is that he's blonde and he wears a Red Sox t-shirt over or under a Hawaiian a Hawaiian button up. And he's
Christ.
always pointing his gun at everybody, which I think is pretty funny. And then you have the I can't remember his name, but I've been thinking of him as Miami Vice Jackie Chan, because he kind of has
that's City Hunter.
Yeah, City Hunter. You know, he's got the Miami Vice white leisure suit, but he also has like a Jackie Chan 70s mullet, and his thing is that he's like the goofy kung fu guy. So, you know, he's like always trying to do like wuxia moves on people, but he bungles them from time to time. Sometimes he catches a vase with his feet, you know, stuff like that.
God, that is City Hunter.
Yep.
It's weird.
He's the City Hunter guy. And they are just as incompetent as our main Zenigata detective. But yeah, the 80s version of the show mostly being the exact same, but with that backdrop of like beautiful aesthetic, like urban nightscapes that I find so alluring. Really makes the hackneyed premise of all the characters and the show itself like really much more palatable, you know?
The remake is much less charming in that regard. Yes.
All of these characters are so much more annoying for being put in this like modern setting where they obviously don't belong, you know?
This actually echoes very clearly our problem with the Ranma remake, reboot.
Exact same tone.
Which is that they both hew too closely to the original series, but also it is a dulling of everything that was originally in Ranma. And which is very strange.
I just want to say that if we're comparing Ranma, the 80s Ranma is like still infinitely more interesting than the 80s version of Cat's Eye, which is also still kind of boring, just less so and in different ways than the remake.
Well, Ranma kicks ass.
Yeah, Ranma's great.
Also, did you we watched some more Dan and still not caught up, but did you get the joke where he's after they revealed the evil eye like water switching thing, he starts singing the Ranma 1/2 theme?
Oh yeah, I got that.
Yeah. It's a good touch.
I love that. I love that little touches like that.
Yeah. Okay. One last question about Cat's Eye. Do they the gems? Do they steal Cat's Eyes?
No, they have not stolen a Cat's Eye yet. They stole a ruby, and they stole a crown. Specifically, and this is weird because they never bring up the detail again. They specifically call out that this crown that they steal from a museum in Tokyo
belongs in a museum.
Yeah, it belongs in a museum. Was one that was originally stolen by the English Empire from India.
Cool.
But that's now Japan bought it instead of giving it back to India.
Yeah, we'll just keep that.
Yeah, they're just I heard that this crown was stolen by the English from the Indians, you know, hundreds of years ago. Anyway, guess it's ours now.
Now it's ours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like how, you know, all the diamonds they're stealing probably are all blood diamonds.
Oh,
like
yeah,
Leo
absolutely. Yeah, you can see them labeled on the big sacks that they're carried in.
These
like,
are
hey,
blood diamonds.
Grab the sack
not
of blood
naturally
diamonds.
sourced. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well,
Yep.
that's another one in the bag.
Another
More
one in the
anime
bag
for you. Shit, man. Maybe we'll get to a good one next time.
We're calling it here.
I don't have any more anime.
All right. Okay. All right. Next time it is then, handsome, beautiful, tall listeners, check us out on YouTube, check us out on TikTok, Blue Sky, do the stuff. We will talk to you in the anime future.
Wow.
Bye. Hey, so get this. I'm back here with anime for the week. What do you folks think about that?